Welcome, folks. Welcome to this learning series where we get a chance to uncover the AWS cloud. We're going to do it with Gen AI and Amazon Q Business. So I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I worked at a company where we traditionally didn't use the cloud. And so that was so early on in my career. If I had an individual who had come to me and say, hey, there are a few things that you can kind of streamline and scale if you just join AWS, then that would have been perfect. But I started my journey with not a lot of help. And I had to look through some documentation to kind of get myself skilled up. And I started with a cloud practitioner. That's a certification that you can get with AWS. After I got my grounds, I started to work at AWS for quite a while. And then the AI practitioner came out. Well, I find myself studying for that as well. And as I look back on my journey, I just found myself going for the trends in a way to where I can move along with the industry. Now, I want to be someone who can help you out with that. I got a few friends who've contacted me already saying that, hey, the industry is changing. I'm in the financial industry, I'm in the manufacturing industry. And can you help me out with kind of going along with, where the industry is going? And I absolutely want to do that. And this is an opportunity that we get to do that with you. Charisma, do you want to jump in as well?
Yeah. Well, wonderful kickoff, right? So one of the things here, and let me back up for a minute. My name is Charisma Island. One of the things that we love about this new learning series is really being able to meet people where they are, help them understand, as Ariel mentioned, establishing that ground or that foundation back into the cloud. Something that you'll learn about me throughout this learning series is I specifically come from a cybersecurity background. I've worked in the federal government, financial services, as well as education and healthcare. But with that, I've realized that everyone doesn't necessarily want to be a developer. Everyone doesn't want to be a cybersecurity expert. Everyone doesn't want to take that journey into the next executive suite. Now, with that in mind, does that mean that we can't all learn along the path of how Gen AI is going to be of value to us, how it's literally retransforming the way that we do business? On the heels of AWS reInvent, as a matter of fact, we recognize that there are so many services that's been pronounced out there: Amazon Nova, Amazon Q Business, and a few others that we'll talk about as we go through this. But where we fundamentally come back to the core aspects of understanding, what does the cloud mean? And how do we use these services in the cloud to best move our foot forward, right? Transform the way that we're doing business. And that's the reason why we decided to come together and partner and establish this new learning series for you. We've got some real goodies in mind for you. We're going to actually take this over the next 90 days. This is not just a kind of a one-stop shop. We've got Ariel that created this great party rock app for you so that you can help you in having your own kind of companion, if you want to think about it that way, your own study buddy to help you along the journey. There's a lot of different things that's out there as far as learning materials, videos that you'll see, even our videos that you'll see here, right?
Absolutely.
The reality, though, is that we really want it to be something that's fun, friendly, engaging. It helps you to demystify and uncover what these things mean to you in your existing position, whatever that position may be, whatever that role may be across various industries. So I'll switch it back over to Ariel here. So Ariel, take us through and tell us what we're going to talk about over these next 90 days.
Over these next 90 days, we need to prepare you. I've had friends, like I told you, come to me and say, hey, how can I prepare myself to be going in the right direction in this industry? And one of the things I told them is that you can get certified. You could grab an artificial intelligence foundational exam, and it gives you that foundation, kind of understanding what AI is. Let me show you something real quick. I want to show you the exam guide in regards to that certification. And one of the things that I want to point out here is this may or may not be a starting point for you. So what we're looking at right now is the AI certification practitioner exam guide. And as we consider this, there's some understanding, right, that we need to have around AI. And so we'll go through that over the next 90 days to kind of understand these AI methodologies and these AI concepts. But we'll be using services that AWS is offering. So if you come this far down the journey and you want to grab some artificial intelligence certification, but you have not done the prerequisite, then it's really not a good fit for you yet. We want to make this a good fit for you, right? And so what are your thoughts around that, Charisma?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is why we're going to really think about how we're putting this together, right? We're packaging this in a way to where we're preparing you to understand a lot of the terminology, but also how to use many of the services that are going to be part of this exam. So services like Amazon Q Business, services like Athena. But we've got to give you some of the fundamentals when it comes back to understanding how to operate or how to use the cloud. Now, this really goes across the lines of no matter what role you're in, if you don't have the terminology or the lingo when it comes to cloud services or the fundamentals there, but also security in the cloud, how to focus on who's accessing or who has access to your data, or who can engage in your environment, or who can operate or maintain things in your environment. That's a very big factor. So this is where the some of the keywords or some of the understandings where we think about the Cloud Practitioner Essentials foundational exam, partnered or paired with the AI exam, is going to really blend together to bring it all together for you. Now, is it going to make you an expert? No, you may already be an expert, right? So who's to say? I think everyone's an expert in their own right or in their own trade. But what this is really geared towards is helping you or helping everyone, no matter where they're at in their journey, to prepare for both of these certifications side by side within the next 90 days. And we've got an actual goal, right? We were talking about that this morning, and Ariel kind of surprised me with this goal, but I'm going to go with it, right? Ariel, tell them what your goal is, or what our goal is.
Our goal is, at the end of this 90 days, you're going to have 2 certifications. We're hoping that you can grab that cloud practitioner certification. As Charisma said, you've already come that far. You've already crossed that line. That's cool. But by the end of this 90 days, you should be very well prepared to get yourself an artificial intelligence certification, right? Better preparing yourself and vetting yourself out there in the industry, and whatever industry that you work in. And we'll hope to go through a few of these industries as different personas and as they relate to artificial intelligence. How do you get help? How do you get assistance, though? We're going to be dropping links to skill builder courses. But aside from something like that, how do you get some practical practice, right? How do you put your hands on some practice? And I prepared for you a Party Rock application, super easy to do. One day, I think me and Charisma might even just jump on here and show you how to do it, show you how easy it is to get it done. But what we've created here is an exam prep tool with Party Rock. And as you can see, the first thing that you get associated with here is a chatbot. I absolutely love chatbots. As you will find, we'll go through different tasks that might be, related to one industry or another, and specific tasks that we can accomplish here. We'll go through Amazon Q Business. But when I consider, right, how I can use this to help myself study for the exam, I'll go to the chatbot and I'll kind of have an understanding that, hey, this chatbot is using one of the latest models that you can find in what we call Amazon Bedrock. If you're not very familiar with Amazon Bedrock, AWS has a few large language models that we're offering through Amazon Bedrock as a service, and we just tapped into Anthropic Sonnet 3.5 as a model here. And so simply, all I need to do is come up with a question that is related to the exam. And here, what are the core principles and fundamentals and theories of domain 1 of the Artificial Intelligence Foundation exam? And that's the question that I have. If I want to press play on Party Rock, I'll do it. I'll just command enter. And as soon as I press command enter, my chatbot is ready for me to start talking. Not only that, I'll have this topic of information that pops out at me if I just want to better prepare for the exam in that way. And at the end of this thing, we're going to talk about a few practice questions that you can get involved with here. And so this is going to be an excellent, excellent tool for you. And matter of fact, let's start this conversation. What's a good study method for preparing for the exam? And just like that, if you're not familiar with the chatbot already, this should show you the power, right? You become a person who has a personal assistant if you don't already have one, right? And so it's a beautiful tool.
Let's zoom in on this one because I can barely see it, right?
Okay,
so let's zoom in here.
That's
because
perfect.
This takes me back to when I was studying for the exam, right? And when I took the exam, I think we both have those early adopter badges, right? And so that meant that we spent time diving even deeper into some of these questions to really understand the meat of the objectives and understand how to leverage and use and the power behind these services.
Mm-hmm.
And this is specifically why we're using Party Rock and Amazon Q for business as we move forward to show you how to engage and use these services. And we'll dive into some other services deeper. You already heard Ariel mention Bedrock, which is Amazon Bedrock, which is the core foundational, as you can use the name, right? Bedrock,
Absolutely.
where you can engage with not just one large language model, but various large language models that are out there, because everyone needs something different with a multimodal model.
That's right.
All that means is, am I looking for text to be augmented or generated? Am I looking for a new picture to be, or a new image to be created? Am I looking for visual representation or audio representation? Do I need to transcribe some information based on what I'm saying in one language to another language, right? So all it's doing, and I don't want to kind of dumb it down, that's not really what the goal is, but it's to uncover or demystify many of the terminologies that's out there, like tokenization, right? Where we think about, well, what does inference mean? Those are the types of things that doesn't necessarily translate into our common language. It reminds me of when I was taking my CISSP exam years ago, and the word non-repudiation, right, kept coming up in the exam. We're like, what are you talking? What does this really mean, or what does this really translate back into when it comes to just fundamentally what I'm trying to do and understand? And so this is part of the goal here. It's not just another exam prep. It's to help you understand through different personas across different industries and specific use cases to how you can benefit and leverage something like Party Rock, or even creating your own chatbot with Amazon Q Business, as we'll show you later. And I think a really cool thing that we'll show you as we move forward here is how to add and create your own Party Rock by remixing, and even modify some of the widgets that you see here. Widgets are just these compartments or these sections that you see here, where we can add a new widget to give you some inspiration when you first access the Party Rock app, right? It'll be some inspiring quote or some inspiring image that we can modify and change and show you how you create your own, remix this app or create your own app, or even moving that forward. And the more that you play around with it, the more excited that you get about this is really what we want to do. We want to infuse this new kind of new year, new you, and help you in engaging and help you in taking it forward to achieve not just one certification, but two, as Ariel said.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely love that. And when you think about everything that Charisma is saying, think about how much preparation you can actually get done here, right? And it's going to be a tool that I want you to use. I'm going to put links here in the description of this video where you can start to go out into tools like Skill Builder as well. There's some exam prep that you can go for, and we'll have an opportunity to kind of break those elements down as well, right? Now, before we kind of close things out, I want to do a couple of things with you. Right. First thing that I want to do is I just want to read over those exam domains, right, for the AI practitioner, so that you know what you're getting into. Charisma did speak about quite a bit of that already here, but let's just take a look at it. So we'll go down to the first domain, fundamentals of AI and ML. Right, we're going to be talking about the general topic around AI, the history around AI and ML, and how that relates to current day. We're going to be talking about different ways in which you could train your models, right? And so we'll see that in domain one. When we think about all of the task statements that domain one makes out of, you can expect videos to be covering that in relation to these tasks that we're uncovering with Amazon Q Business, fundamentals of generative AI, specifically doing a deeper dive and not just the general conversation in ML, but specifically how we're going to use Gen AI to kind of be a little bit more efficient. And so we'll go through that. When I consider domain three comes out at us and says, hey, now we want to put together an application. So we want to show you in which what ways in which you could pass the certification by understanding how these different services will work together. And here's one of the highlights of why you need to go through the cloud practitioner exam first, right? If you haven't gone through the cloud practitioner exam, as you're going through the objectives here and you see services like Amazon, Bedrock, or if you see a few services out here like RDS and you just don't know what those are, you need to brush up on those things, right? And so we'll have an opportunity to kind of go through that. Amazon Aurora, another one of those that you might find there on the cloud practitioner. Domain 4 here talks about responsible AI. We need an opportunity to safeguard AI. When you're prompting, can I, create an output that might be unbiased? right? As I'm fine tuning my model, when I'm introducing data to that model, am I choosing data that covers everyone? And that's going to be pretty important in today's day, right? As you're using these
And let
different
me
tools.
let me jump into this one here, right? So I think
Absolutely.
domain 4 is what excites me the most, right? With
Hmm.
my cybersecurity background,
Hmm.
when I think about any new technology that comes out, my first thought is how do we secure it, right? Because it's going to be used in a lot of different ways. And
Hmm.
so when we think about governance, when we think about security and controls, when we think about regulatory requirements as far as that, when we think about how do we now manage and maintain all of that in the cloud as well, those are the types of things that we're going to focus on in specific use cases, not just working you through the domain topics themselves, but giving you kind of real world scenarios about how these things can be applied and how you can look at different security controls across your different requirements based on your industry. I should say industry requirements.
Absolutely. And it is a big deal. And so we will consider also domain 5, security, compliance, and governance. And when I think about these two domains, they kind of work hand in hand, but it's broken down in different ways. And we'll have opportunities to kind of break that down for you. So get ready to learn a whole lot when you consider this particular exam, right? And so we'll leave this with you in a link as well, so you can access the exam guide. You got the Party Rock tool. The only other thing that I want to leave with you is that we're going to be going through a task with Amazon Q Business. The next time you see us, talk to us, we're going to go through a specific task and how to accomplish that with Amazon Q Business. And that way you can see the light, the beauty of using Gen AI for all your daily tasks. Hooking up with some chatbot that's just going to make you much more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'm excited. We're excited. We've been working on this for a few months now, and we've been really trying to hone this in a way that can partner and help everyone, no matter where they're at, no matter whether you're low tech, no tech, whether you're an expert or not. Maybe you're an expert in specific topics or domains or areas already, but you need to branch out and learn, as we all do, right? We all have to upskill and reskill in every sense of the word. And I believe that the more that we can ride the wave, I call it this Gen AI wave, the better that we are positioned across industries, to be honest with you. And so this is part of coming back to the why. Why are we doing this? Why are we taking time out of our personal time, basically, to showcase and do this? It's really to help bridge that gap, right? When we think about just helping someone else along the way. I think, Ariel, you gave me a good example of that a couple of days ago, where you said, if my car is, if I'm broken down on the side of the road, and if I'm just sitting in my car waiting for someone to stop and help me, rather than me getting out and pushing my car, and then people will naturally, right, organically
Absolutely.
stop, pull over, and help you push and get out of that way. This
Absolutely.
to me is kind of the same thing, right? Where we all are trying to figure out, we're all in this AI journey together, and we're all trying to figure this out in the best way possible. And
Mhm.
so, one of the beautiful things here about working with AWS is that they love for us to, as an organization, we love to be able to champion and lead certain initiatives and move that forward in whatever sparks your interest and whatever matters to you. And
Mhm.
so, with that in mind, where we want to close out and say, take this opportunity. This is
Take
a
it.
new year. It's a new you. You get an opportunity to have someone help you walk through the journey of preparing for these two exams, because guess what? We've had to do it ourselves,
We
right?
have to
We've
do it
been in that
ourselves.
same foot. I've reinvented myself at least 4 different times I won't date myself, right? In my 25 years of being a true professional here.
Mhm.
And so there's no shame in that.
No.
As a matter of fact, it's more about being proactive in what we see coming and
Mhm.
how we can best utilize the services and understand how to use them and what matters to us and what matters to our teams and what matters to our organizations. And
Mhm.
we are here to help you do that.
Absolutely, folks. If I can do it, trust me, you can do it too. And so we'll do it together. We'll do it together. And I'm super passionate about that. I'm super passionate about that. I gotta go, Charisma.
All
Should I
right.
should I share them? Should I share my goal with them?
You sure can.
My goal, our goal, right? We want to reach 1 million learners, right? And that sounds like some ambitious goal, and it
It sure
is
does.
ambitious. It's super ambitious, but that's how serious this thing is, and that's how serious I am about it. We are about it, and how we feel about it. And so, don't be shy. right? I remember being shy. Don't be shy, right? Jump on this thing, right? There's no way to fail. There's just opportunity to gain. So it's been great talking to you, Charisma. It's been great giving information out to you all on how you can prepare over these next 90 days with us. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Let's do it. I'm Ariel
Okay.
Boyd.
I'm Charisma Island. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.